Went out on this microwave oven combo. The customer's complaint was no bake and no broil. And I've seen this before quite a few times. The brown relay in the middle will have a bad soldering contact. You'll see it's discolored. And when you test the 240, you'll see it between the L1 and L2, the black and the red wire, but you won't see it between the black and the orange wire when the bake or broil is engaged. And there's the relay that's the culprit, has 12 volt DC. I replace it with a similar one. As long as the current is at or higher, then you're going to be fine. A lot of times you won't get an exact match for the relay you're replacing. Sometimes they're obsolete, no longer available, but most of the time you're going to find a substitute part. To get a good quality, good looking solder joint, you want to clean the tip of your soldering iron with tip tinner. So to remove the relay, I put my desoldering gun on one of the pads. I'll let it sit for a second, and then once I see that the solder is melted, then I'll just kind of wiggle it around a bit and then suck the solder up. And that helps with the solder not getting accumulated in the nozzle. And I also add new solder just to free up that old solder as well. This especially helps when you have old oven boards that are like 20, 30 years old and have just large pads with these via rivets. It's like impossible to get those out unless you use new solder. And here's the two relays, the old one on the right, new one on the left. What I will do with the new relay is go ahead and press a couple of the pins down. This secures the relay so that when I'm soldering it won't fall out. So you can see here we got some nice looking pads, all clean. Got the new relay in place, ready to be soldered. And what I do is when I go to resolder it, I'll still use my desoldering gun, it's just fine. You want to set the desoldering iron on the pad and let it heat up first, and then you touch the solder to the pad, not to the iron. And you'll see it just develop a cone shape. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a clean solder joint with solder all completely around it. I'm going to do some close-ups here in just a second. And to clean up the joints, what I'll use is isopropyl over 90% alcohol and a brush. To get a stiffer bristle, what I'll do is I'll cut the ends off so that the actual brush is really short. And, so you're just kind of scrubbing the joints as well. I'll use a jeweler's loupe to take a look at these solder joints and just make sure that there's that the solder is dispersed evenly all around the joint, that the pin is making good contact with the solder, and all of these joints look good. So to make sure that the desoldering gun is good, I'll pulse it a couple of times just to suck up any excess solder that's in the tip or the nozzle. And I'll clean it with just some steel wool. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll see you next time.